You're listening to CBC Online at cbchs.org.
3-2-1, CBC Online. We're with CBC football coach Scott Pingel. CBC sits at 7-0, just coming off a decisive victory over DeSmet, won the MCC conference. So first, talk about winning the conference. I know that was a goal for you guys coming out.
Yeah, it was a nice thing. Anytime you can kind of win your conference, you know, the schools that you're competing with every year, you know, it's a nice accomplishment, and we've luckily won a few in a row, and we played pretty well last Friday night.
You know, one fact that kind of gets lost is you guys haven't lost the conference game in 2 years now. So you guys have really done well in the conference. Is that a goal going into each season to really get these conference games, get your focus for those conference games?
Well, you know, I think anytime we're playing a conference game, a lot of the boys know each other, so it's very competitive in that line. But you know, definitely you get 3 goals each year, conference, district, and it all. So you know, we're trying to slowly knock them out.
Now, last week against DeSmet, obviously Jonathan Parker 4 touchdowns. Tyler Kreth, 3 touchdowns, but your special teams have really been getting it done. Kind of been overlooked a little bit, but you've been getting some big plays, big returns, good field position from the special teams. You want to talk about your special teams this year?
Right, special teams have been great. Moses Regler, our special team coordinator, does a great job setting them up. You know, when teams decide to kick to us, you know, we feel like we got some skilled players back there. We got a nice setup at each and every week to try to score. You know, our goal is to try to score 1 non-offensive touchdown a game, and you know, we've been able to do that, and special teams played a big part in our DeSmet victory.
Certainly, as a coach, one thing that you deal with is teaching your boys to deal with adversity, and I guess you got to look at Jonathan Parker drop that big pass. Very next play, busts out for the touchdown. Did you have to talk to Jonathan, or is it just something he took on himself?
I think that was something he took on himself because he didn't have time to think about it because we gave him the ball next play. We wanted him to think about or forget about it, and I think it kind of inspired him to play a little bit harder and faster, and you know, he came through and did a nice job for us on that next play.
Again, we keep going back and forth every week. We talk about that defense, but these guys really had a test this week. This was a bigger test than maybe any game previously. Talk about how you felt the defense answered the bell this week.
I think they did a great job again. You know, we were relying on our defense. We hope our defense takes us where we need to go. You know, they were early on. They set the tone for the game. They had a turnover, then we kind of turned it right back over to them. They were given 3 and outs. It wasn't until really late in the game where DeSmet was able to move the ball a little bit more. But again, it was a bend but don't break. And when the boys had to buckle down, they did, and had 2 interceptions in the red zone. So, you know, it's a tough little defense, and I'm happy to have them on our side.
Again, this week we come back home. We got Jeff City Helias, a Class 3 school, I believe. Class 4 school. A little smaller community, but still they play pretty competitive football down there, Coach?
Oh, without a doubt. Wait till you see this offense. They're all over the place. To me, it's like the Florida with Tim Tebow. You know, they got a nice quarterback. He's left-handed just like Tim. They throw it. They run it. They spread you out. You know, they're very, very finesse on offense, and they do some special things. So, you know, our defense definitely got their work cut out for them. And on defense, you know, they're very similar to us. They run a 3-4, very attacking style defense. So it's going to be a great game. It really is.
I almost hate to utter the word, but it's starting to become kind of a big word around here. Undefeated, Coach. I mean, you're 7-0, you have 7 in a row. How much does that weigh into what you guys do? Obviously, it's a nice thing to have, but really you just want to get through the season and get ready for the postseason.
Well, you don't even really think about getting through the season. You think about each week. You know, you can kind of celebrate a win for about 24 hours, and then after that, it's really the next opponent. So until the final whistle blows for the final game, you know, you're always grinding and always trying to get better each and every week. And, you know, with our schedule, you can't really look past anybody. So our boys are going to be pretty focused this week on Helias.
Early on, we asked you to kind of grade out the team, and now here we are in Week 7. What kind of grades are you giving in Week 7 now?
You know, if you talk about all 3 phases, I think defense is still at an A. They're playing at a high level, exceptional defense, only allowing a little over 6 a game. Special teams, I think they're a B, you know, for the most part. Our return game's been pretty good. Our coverage games have been getting better each and every week. And our offense is probably about a B right now. We're starting to find our identity, click a little bit. So, you know, CBC is probably at a B right now.
And again, as we look forward to this game this week, what do you expect from Helias? You talked about an explosive offense, but defensively, what do they bring?
Again, they're very similar to us. They're 3-4. They're gonna you know, try to play gap control defense. They're probably not as big as other teams we've seen, but they're very disciplined in what they do. This will probably be one of the best coached teams we'll see all year. They're very, like I said, disciplined, and you know they're not gonna make a mistake. You're gonna have to beat them to earn anything here.
And finally, on the injury list, anything fans want to know about?
A little bit. Bert Birdsall might be out with concussion, and then Eric Carrera, you know, his injury last week was in a large spleen with a rib contusion. So we're kind of getting both those guys evaluated this week, and we'll kind of see where we are. Again,
Coach Pingel, CBC 7-0, got Jeff City Helias coming to town. Kickoff 7 o'clock right here at CBC. You can watch that game on the Cadet Network. So, Coach, we'll catch up with you next time.
Thanks, Rob.
CBC. Men for tomorrow, brothers for life.